Full of amazing old tombs, temples, burial mounds, and rock carvings, South Korea's Gyeongju fully earns its nickname as the Museum Without Walls, and will astound visitors with all its amazing tourist attractions. As it was once the capital of Silla, an ancient kingdom on the Korean peninsula, many of its monuments date back over 1,000 years. And one of the best things to do in Gyeongju is exploring its impressive architecture and old buildings. See that and be seen around town. In this video, we explore the best things to do in Gyeongju. We've collected a list of the top things to do in Gyeongju, so make sure to include them in your list if you're a visitor. At first in the list, number 1, Bulguksa Temple. Lying on the slopes of Mount Tohomson, Bulguksa Temple is an absolute masterpiece of Buddhist art and architecture. It is widely considered to be the most impressive temple in the whole of South Korea. Built in the 8th century, the temple boasts some astounding stone pagodas and statues of the Buddha, and 7 of the country's national treasures are to be found scattered around its complex. Perfectly at harmony with the majestic mountain scenery all around it, the temple's many courtyards and gardens are mesmerizing to wander around, with beautiful architecture on show wherever you look. Number 2, Anapji Pond. Created in 674 AD by King Munmu to celebrate the unification of the Korean peninsula under Silla rule. The human-made Anapji Pond is now one of the most popular tourist attractions in the city and is a part of Gyeongju National Park. Surrounded by beautiful gardens and wonderfully reconstructed pavilions and palaces, Anapji Pond certainly makes for a fine sight and is best viewed at night when the grounds are so magically illuminated. Donggung Palace, in particular, looks incredible reflected in its waters. In autumn, lots of newlyweds come here to have their photo taken amidst the colorful lotus blossoms blanketing the pond. Number 3, Cheonmachong Tomb. Meaning, sky horse. Cheonmachong is so named because a spectacular painting of a white horse was unearthed when the tomb was excavated in 1973. Remarkably, over 11,500 artifacts were found in the tomb. While these offered up a fascinating look at society in the Silla kingdom, they unfortunately didn't shed any light on which king was buried in the mound. Believed to date to the 5th century, Cheonmachong is the only tomb that you can enter in the Daereungwon burial mound complex, and it is well worth doing so if you have the opportunity. Number 4, Seokguram. Designated a national treasure in 1962. Seokguram is one of the nation's most important historical, cultural, and religious sites. Part of the Bulguksa Temple complex, the Seokguram Grotto, as it is commonly known, is nestled away on the slopes of Mount Tohomson overlooking the East Sea off in the distance. Completed in 774 AD, the grotto houses one of the finest examples of Asian art in the shape of its breathtaking Buddha sculpture. The deity is said to look over and protect South Korea. Number 5, Cheomseongdae Observatory. Although it is not all that impressive to gaze upon, Cheomseongdae's significance is without compare. It is remarkably the oldest surviving astronomical observatory in not only the whole of Asia but possibly even the world. Built in 632 AD during the reign of Queen Seokguram, the ancient structure stands at just over 9 meters tall. Nowadays, lots of lovely gardens can be found all around it. Said to have been built out of 365 stones, one for each day of the year, Cheomseongdae Observatory was used for centuries by astronomers, who came to gaze out at the stars and planets above. Number 6, Yangdong Folk Village. Full of beautiful old houses and buildings that date back to the Joseon era, Yangdong Folk Village is simply marvelous to wander around. Its scenic setting in a verdant valley with mountains all around it only adds to the perfect scene. Built in the traditional Joseon dynasty architectural style, its cluster of buildings are very picturesque to behold, with lush gardens all around them. The vast majority of them are still lived in to this day. Although it is quite hard to reach the village, as it lies some 20 kilometers to the north of Gyeongju, it is well worth the effort if you want to experience traditional ways of life in an authentic setting. Number 7, Gyeongju National Museum. Widely considered to be one of the best museums in the country, Gyeongju National Museum is the place to go if you want to learn all there is to know about the Silla Kingdom and the rise of civilization in South Korea. Located right next to the Daereungwon Burial Mound complex, its various buildings are packed full of informative and interesting exhibitions and displays, with lots of dazzling jewelry, age-old weaponry, and important religious works on show. Number 8. Daereungwon Burial Mound. One of the most popular tourist destinations in Gyeongju, the Daereungwon Burial Mound complex lies in the center of the city and encompasses 30 royal tombs that date back to the times of the Silla Kingdom. Set among a couple of pretty parks, the large grassy mounds are very distinctive. As some of them reach over 20 meters in height, you can hardly fail to notice the tombs while wandering around town. The most impressive of them are those of Hwangnam Daechong and King Michu, both of which date back over 1,000 years. Number 9. Gyeongju National Park. Established all the way back in 1968, Gyeongju is unique among the country's national parks as it is the only one that is dedicated to preserving, protecting, and promoting the wealth of historical sites that lie within it. This means that while some sections of the national park are to be found surrounding Gyeongju, others are actually located right in the center of the city itself. As such, you may unwittingly find yourself in the national park without even knowing it when visiting one of the breathtaking burial mounds, temples, or tombs that are scattered around town. At last in the list, number 10, Bomun Lake. Surrounded by fancy hotels, shops, and restaurants as well as extensive parks and gardens, the human-made Bomun Lake is where many people in Gyeongju come to relax and unwind. Lying just 5 kilometers from the center of the city, Bomun Lake has lots of lovely walks and cycle rides that you can do around the lake. You can even go boating on its tranquil waters or enjoy a round of golf at one of its resorts. From April to August, the Bomun Outdoor Performance Theater hosts regular shows on its shores, and the permanent exhibitions at the nearby Seokguram Art Gallery are well worth checking out if you have the chance. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite things to do in Gyeongju? Is there something we missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Greenable if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.